Good morning, BIX Weir, roadtoroota.com. Good morning, Horn of Z's. Today is a very interesting day. I think the final plan of the good guys is going into place, which is bubbles. Bubbles everywhere. Make a bubble everywhere and then pop it. Bubbles don't pop unless they're overblown. So that's the idea. Overblown every bubble, from the housing market bubble to the stock market bubble. Every single bubble. Behind the scenes, the economy is imploding. People are losing their jobs. Nobody has any money except on the stock market. And if they look at their 401k, they're saying, "Oh, I have a wealth effect going on, and I feel like I can spend money." But in reality, it can disappear in a blink of an eye, which we saw in September of 2008. The stock market crashed. Everything was crashing, and we were within 30 minutes of the entire system shutting down completely. And then Hank Paulson bailed it out. This time it's going to take a lot more than $700 billion. This time it's going to take over $20 trillion. And that still won't do it, truthfully, because you gotta bail out the derivatives first, according to Dodd-Frank. And that's in the quadrillions, in the hundreds of quadrillions. No, there won't be a bailout. Anyway, so the bubbles are blowing. Everywhere you look, there's a bubble. Bubble, except for some of our favorite assets, gold, silver, and Bitcoin. I would say last chance to load up, especially silver. Bitcoin, new announcements I'm going to talk about in the Friday road trip this Friday. New announcements from 2 different countries that they are exploring, looking into using Bitcoin and the blockchain technology. Countries, and I've been saying this for a long time. People will print money, electronically print money, create money out of thin air to buy Bitcoin, to buy silver and gold. And Ethereum. I love Ethereum. Get some of that too. If you have Bitcoin, you need some Ethereum. It's more of a blockchain type of a token. It's not really a cryptocurrency. It's a token. Anyway, let's go through the news real quick. Sweden's gold reserves, 10,000 gold bars, shrouded in official secrecy. Sweden's central bank claims to hold 10,000 large gold bars, but is unwilling to provide any details of these gold bars, citing official state secrecy. Yes, if you're a country and you report your correct amount of gold in the vault, you are insane, because everybody cheats. Everybody lies. Everybody has a whole lot more gold than they're telling you. And if they don't have it, they're scrambling to get it behind the scenes right now without telling anybody. Most of these wars we see, first thing they go in, like in Libya, they go in and try to take the gold. So yes, all countries have more gold than they say. And the final numbers, who knows where they're going to end up. I believe it's over 1 to 2 million tons of gold out there above ground, and even more below ground. But that's for other researchers to figure out after this crash, when some kind of honesty has to come into the system. Here's a great example. Those of you saying that, oh no, there's 180,000 ounces or 180,000 tons of gold that have ever been mined. Well, what's going on with these 10,000 gold bars? How much does that count into your calculations? And how many more secret gold bars does Sweden have? How many does Switzerland have? How many does France have? How many does the United States have? How many does China have? They all have massively more than they tell the world. And they should. And they're smart. All right. Here we go again. Another futures fund is caught in a short gamma trap. We are now getting closer to launch, as the same situation is speculated to be out there again. There was some covering in the 2330s and 2370s yesterday, while most of the size seemingly sits at the 2400 level. As the market is sniffing out the upper strikes that such a strategy might be short, there is a self-fulfilling short gamma as we push ever closer to the pain points. Now the Fed and the market riggers can make a pain point happen at any moment they want. Even JP Morgan gets nailed. The London whale, that was all the Fed and the U.S. Treasury sticking it to JP Morgan. And yeah, because they can stop it. Remember, they can cause it or they can stop it. If they don't stop it, they're usually causing it. So yeah, there's going to be a lot of this targeted takedowns of hedge funds and other type of people that the federal government does not want people to profit off this coming crash. So to be short anywhere is crazy. The ultimate loss in the short position is everything you ever owned and everything they ever owned. You can lose it all in a short position. You can't lose it all in a long position. Long position, you can just lose what you put into it as long as you're not leveraged. And if you're leveraged, you can lose your leverage as well. But on a short position, there is no limit to how high that asset can go. So you are completely exposed. As was seen a few years back with Volkswagen, when it just went hyperbolic, shot through the roof, a couple hedge funds went down there. It was a targeted takedown. And that's fine. And that's what the Fed's been doing. They don't want people to profit from the coming collapse. So they're gonna take out as many as they can before the collapse happens. It might not even be a collapse either. It might just be a ceasing of markets, a total freezing of everything, never to open again. We don't know at this point. Alberta warns Trump of retaliation if energy sanctions begin. Alberta Premier Rachel Notley warned U.S. President Trump that he would face the wrath of the northern nation's many allies if the freshman president begins employing energy trade restrictions with Canada. The wrath of Canada. Of Canada? Yeah, Trump is doing exactly what he's doing as far as tariffs, as far as trade, because he wants to destroy the system. Just go look back at the 1930s Smoot-Hawley Act that increased tariffs on like 3,000 goods. And what happened? Labor went up a little bit, and then all of a sudden, everything took a dive. And by 1932, 25% of GDP was gone globally. And that's exactly what Trump's doing. And that's the idea. Just reverse globalism, end globalism. Go back to America first. And it would clearly destroy the system if he does it again, because we're much higher leverage now. In the 1930s, we weren't as global as we are now. Now we get everything from overseas. So if Trump wants to play this game, get ready for hyperinflation or just an ending of products coming into our shores, which is good because then we can, we'll have jobs. We can make our own stuff finally. So yeah, all the tariffs and the trade wars, it is not good for the banks at all. And it's protectionism never works because other countries will just lay on similar tariffs or higher. But if you're trying to destroy the system, it's a great way to go, Trump, so keep it up. Einhorn, the long say stocks can only go up, seemingly to infinity and beyond. Have we seen this before? Yes, bubbles, bubbles, bubbles everywhere. And this is the language we were looking for to look for the popping of that bubble. And it's not going to be a 5% correction. It's not going to be a 10% correction. More likely it'll be an 80% correction or 90% correction or a complete shutdown of the markets because the markets have gigantic problems. All the shares are rehypothecated and fictional. There's 10 people holding the same share as you are claiming ownership thanks to the DTCC. So this is a mess that can only be fixed by imploding the system. And it can't be fixed by a correction of 10%, 50%, or 60%. It's either got to all go and then start fresh, or the games are going to just keep piling on. And right now, just the games keep piling on. All right. Let's see where we're at. Oh, Saudi Arabia. Could lack of transparency hurt Aramco, $1 trillion valuation, with officials calling Saudi Deputy Crown Prince bin Salam's $2 trillion estimate of Saudi Aramco's valuation as unrealistic and mind-blowing. Oilprice.com Cyril Wittershoven notes the primary discussion taking place is the overall level of transparency offered by Aramco's leadership, which is supported by the Saudi government. Aramco doesn't have any oil left in the ground. They built out their they've been looking for offshore oil platforms for a long time because their on ground gigantic reserves are all running out, and nobody's known the exact amount they have. But a big sign was when they started buying all those offshore rigs. It means they can't get the easy oil, the easy onshore oil. They have to buy $200 billion or $200 million offshore oil rigs, or even $1 billion offshore oil rigs. If they're buying offshore oil rigs, that's a lot of money wasted if you have the oil in the ground on land. And they don't. That's the problem. And they're saying, we got to keep this production up or we're screwed. All right, Wells Fargo meeting turns into screaming match. Shareholder kicked out after physical approach towards a board member. Physical approach. How do you approach someone non-physically? I don't know. It's going to get uglier and sillier. Obviously, it's pretty silly now, but it's going to get more and more ugly as the collapse speeds up, and especially when the banks start closing down. That's going to be the scary time because the people are going to be pissed off. And when the stock market crashes again and the banks get blamed and the Federal Reserve gets blamed, Federal Reserve, I don't think will even be around come October. That's how much trouble they're in right now. So that's what you get when you blow the bubble so big, buy up all the toxic assets. Now they're talking about selling some of the toxic assets. You could destroy a market in a blink of an eye doing that, and you'll see the housing market just get crushed. Because if you can't sell the mortgages into the mortgage-backed security industry, you can't write loans, and banks aren't going to hold it on their books. They pawn all this stuff off on Fannie and Freddie. Anyway, something to look forward to. House Oversight Committee confirms Flynn likely broke the law on overseas payments. Now you know why Flynn was cut loose. So yeah, there's a lot of criminals at the upper echelons of government all around the world, including especially in the Trump administration on a lot of these guys that he hired. Mnuchin is a great one. He's a classic criminal. He will be going to jail. There's no doubt in my mind. And check out his record on PIZZAGATE. I'm just saying, I don't have any confirmed facts, but it's not good. It's not looking good for that guy, which is good. He'll be gone. All right, Dow tops 21,000. Like I said, the bubbles are going to blow to insanity and then blow sideways and pop and either freeze the market or drive it down. A lot of people have been saying, the insiders that I have talked to, saying 6,000, 5,000, 4,000 Dow. So that would be a, 75% drop at least. Huh. That would be hurting for a lot of people, especially the margin players, right? All right, let's see if there's anything else. Here's the bubble. New home sales jump, tied for second highest since 2008. As median selling price rebounds. Insanity. You give people free money, housing prices got to go through the roof. The minute free money goes away, you can kiss the housing market goodbye. The minute the banks go away, you can really kiss the housing market goodbye because houses will be worth the nails and the wood that they were built with. And that is just a fact because no one can buy a house for cash. They're going to have to go to a bank to get loans, and there will be no banks lending because the banks have imploded and killed themselves. So you figure out, how much can you sell your house for cash? If only cash is the only way to offer money, how much could you sell your house for? I rest my case. I'd say 90% drop in the housing market. And there's also, according to Cliff, there's going to be some earth changes that are going to be driving people from the north to the south. Make sure you buy Cliff's latest report at halfpasthuman.com. Because we're coming into an ice age that drives people down south, and this weird weather is just a sign that it's coming. It's really weird here. It's rainy and foggy today, and last night it was clear as day, and then it just all of a sudden got rainy and foggy, and then tomorrow it'll be completely different again. Everybody's worried about the runoff from the snow now, and they're saying, well, if spring comes and things heat up, all that snow is going to melt and go into the Orville Dam, which is going to wreak havoc on the dam and the reservoir, and everything's a mess in California. But the Cliff's data has, I think it's freight trains of rain coming in. It used to be rivers in the atmosphere, and now his language is kicking back freight trains loaded with rain. So it'll come and dump, and then dump and dump, a big long, that's an analogy, big long dump of water onto little parts, singular parts of California. Just a huge dump of water. It stays there for a day or so, and then somewhere else it happens. Our weather is getting very strange, very odd. Dow rallies to critical resistance despite jump in VIX. The Dow was up over 200 points this morning on the heels of better than expected earnings from CAT and MCD, among others. This surge has erased all of the losses since March 21st, when the market tumbled after disappointing bank earnings. The odd action today is amid this exuberant equity buying. VIX is jumping back above 11. This is Steve Mnuchin buying to get the herd to go in. This is the final bubble. The herd is absolutely following Steve Mnuchin into the bubble. So stay far away from any stocks, any bonds, anything paper or electronic other than Bitcoin, Ethereum, and maybe a couple cryptos. Not many of the cryptos will survive everything. But Bitcoin should and Ethereum should. I'm hearing Ripple because the banks like Ripple. But if you want to play in the banks blockchain, have a day. I'm not going to get near that. So I'm going to stick to Bitcoin and Ethereum. All right, that's your news for today. Your Horn of Z's. This is BIX Weir, roadtoroota.com. Please give me one of these. Thumbs up helps get subscribers, gets the word out to all you silver bugs waiting for that silver to blast through the $18, $19, $20, $50, $100, blast through $1,000. It's going to be a great time. And that's what lies await. So make sure you give a thumbs up so other people will see this video and the other silver videos that I've been doing lately. We'll talk to you later.